Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? My name is Blitzware and welcome back to another Skylanders Giants Skylander review. And today we're taking a look at a very beautiful figure and a really fun character to play as, and that is, of course, Flashwing. Flashwing is a really cool figure and a really underrated character in my personal opinion. I think a lot of people don't quite realize how useful she is. Usually when I go to my local Toys R Us and Walmart, there is a ton of Flashwings everywhere, which I find unfortunate because I know that a year or two from now, everyone's going to be looking for this character and it's going to be a pain in the butt to actually find her. And I guarantee you that that is what's going to happen, because usually that's what happens with characters that are awesome to play as, look cool, and on top of that, if they don't sell well now, over time, they usually become quite rare. So let's get rolling with Flashwing. So Flashwing is probably one of the most unique characters in terms of the way that it looks. Before I get to that though, of course, if you guys don't know how these review series works, I always provide a little bit of a summary here. I take a look at the toy component of the Skylanders, so we take a look at the actual figurine, I give you my opinion on that, then we cut to some gameplay, where we get to the fun stuff, we get to see the upgrades, the statistics, all that cool fun stuff in the gameplay itself. So of course stick around, and then after that we give it a rating, 1 to 10, and let your voice be heard as well after finishing watching this video. Let your voice be heard in the comment section below. What would you rate Flashwing? Do you have Flashwing? Do you enjoy that character? Do you play it often in versus battles? Whatever it may be, let your voice be heard. But let's get into the figure. So as I said, it looks freaking fantastic. I love these translucent wings. I mean, that looks freaking awesome. She's got a very kind of crystal-like pattern. She's almost like a crystal dragon type character. I believe, is there a Yu-Gi-Oh card that is a crystal dragon? Maybe. I really love the just the span of the figure. I mean, look at that. The wingspan is so wide. It's awesome. The tail has the same type of crystal going over here. She's got some more crystals on her head, which is fantastic. You could see that it's actually translucent plastic painted over, which is great. She's got very characterful eyes, which is awesome. This nice jewel right at the top here, kind of like you could almost probably some sort of backstory to that as to how she acquired that. And as you can see, I mean, the majority of the figure is translucent plastic. You look at her legs right over here. Sorry, I took it out of the shot there. But if you look at her legs, they are translucent plastic as well. And again, continuing on with that crystal design, which is really cool. And she definitely stands out on her own very well on the shelf. On top of that, it's one of the few female characters that are available within the Skylanders universe, so it's very cool to not only have a female character, but on top of that, she looks freaking fantastic, and on top of that, she plays really well. We'll get to the gameplay in just a moment's time. Of course, she's got the basic land Skylander base, which is cool. She's got the insignia right over there on her chest there, which is cool as well. So let's go ahead and place her on the Portal of Power and take a look. Whoa, well, this is not good. Why is my camera doing that? Alright, there you go. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know, my camera was trying to have a hard time auto-focusing. Sorry about that. But let's take a look at Flashwing on the portal. As you can see, because of the dark base and not a lot of actually shining through, which does kind of suck because she's such a translucent character. It would have been cool to see what she looks like when there is a ton of light trying to refract off of her. So I think that Flashwing being one of the light up characters would have been very cool, like a light core character. That's what I mean. Would have been awesome. I'm not sure if there is a light core duration at this point in time. At the time of this recording, there isn't, but I think that this should have been one character that they could have very well considered to be a light core figurine. But there you have it. That is the review, the figure review of Flashwing. So now, of course, let's go ahead and cut to some gameplay where things get even cooler. Alrighty, guys. So now it is time to take a look at some stats, upgrades, and of course, some delicious gameplay. But now, let's kick off things with stats. And actually, my oh my, is she terrific in the stats for armor. I mean, probably one of the highest, if not the highest character in the armor department as a basic Skylander. So I hope that that made sense. What I mean is, like, from the small size Skylander, considering that she's level 10, not fully maxed out yet, having a 64 stat in armor is very high, so very cool. Now let's go ahead and take a look at her upgrades real quick so that then we can get to some gameplay. So first off, of course, she is Flashwing. She's got a lot of crystal components to her design, so therefore that's kind of what her offensive style is revolving around as well. So first off, we've got crystal shards, which allows you to fire crystal shards we've got the Shimmering Spin, which allows you to basically spin around and use your wings, the crystals on your wings, to really slice and dice your enemies like a cheese grater, I guess. Surrounded by shards, which basically by pressing B allows you to fire multiple amounts of shards from all around you, which is definitely a great attack to clear enemies if you're surrounded by them. Next up, we've got Luminous Lasers, which is a very cool attack, and I have a bit of a theory about Flashwing, which I'll show you in just a moment. So that's basically just charging up, and then you have a powerful laser attack that shoots from between your wings. Very cool. I like to call it the Kamehameha. Light Speed Shards, which allows you to speed up the attack of which... Sorry, to speed up this attack, the Crystal Shard attack, basically now the shards fly faster, because they do fly a little bit slow at first, but once you get this upgrade, they fly at a very, very great rapid pace, which allows you to be a much better competitor. And on top of that, of course, they also deal extra damage, which is always nice and dandy. We've got Armored Aura, which basically allows your armor to be even more powered up, which again, that kind of points towards that 64 point stat in armor, which is pretty gosh darn high. Now, here's the split up for the pathways, and I will agree that most of you are probably going to go with the top path. I think that this is probably overall the better path, and I would probably even recommend this path. I chose this path because, I don't know, like, I thought that this would be a very, very useful attack, Reflection Deflection, which is quite fun to say. Reflection Deflection! Hashtag Reflection! Hashtag Deflection! Alrighty, so that now that I made a fool of myself, let's go to look. Let's take a look at the upgrades in the top path. So we've got Shooting Shards, not stars, which basically now allows the shards to stick to walls, and then once they are stuck to the wall, you press A, and they shoot shards as well, which is pretty gosh darn useful. I don't know why I didn't go with this path. I was just probably very, very tired when I was upgrading her, and I was like, I don't know which one I should choose. This one looks cool because it's got tomahawks flying towards her, and it kind of looks hilarious. Alrighty, next up we've got Crystal Craziness, which basically allows up to 3 crystals to stick to the wall and shoot their own crystals when pressed, when A is pressed again, which is again, now it makes it even more handy. And you could really overwhelm your enemies with this attack. And finally, we've got Healing Crystals, which basically crystals embedded in the wall now also heal her. So, I mean, this is by far the best path to go with. I don't know why I chose the bottom path. I apologize for that. But that being said, I also would like to recommend the top path as a much more valid choice. Now, the bottom path focuses more on the Shimmering Spin attack, basically kind of increasing the abilities of that. So, first off, we've got Extra Radiant Rotation, which allows you to spin for a longer period of time and do increased damage when you're spinning. We've got basically Reflection Deflection, which of course, while you're spinning, now projectiles are actually deflected back to enemies, which is pretty gosh darn handy. But again, when you compare it to the top path definitely is a little better. And finally, we've got Light's Crystal Action, which while spinning, you actually get to shoot beams of laser light, which definitely is handy. I like the fact that you can combine kind of 2 attacks with this attack, where you're not only doing damage by spinning, but by tapping A, you're doing additional damage. And finally, a very, very cool attack is by holding B or whatever button it is for you, the Crystal Lighthouse comes up, which does damage to surrounding enemies, which is pretty gosh darn useful. So my theory about Flashwing, as I said before, is that I have a feeling that she's evil. I mean, okay, let me do this. Come on.
Yeah.
You see, like, how excited she is? Like, imagine she's doing damage, and then especially with this attack, like this one right here, the Luminous Laser. She, like, laughs. She's like, aha, I just killed you. Like, I don't know why. I just find her to be, like, kind of, like, she's probably, like, secretly an evil, like, she's got an evil personality, and she just pretends to be good, and she's like, haha, I killed you now. How exciting. I don't know. I just found that to be kind of funny how, you know, she's supposed to be one of the good guys, and then meanwhile, like, she's so ecstatic to harm others, and it's pretty hilarious. Similar to Pop Fizz, and I guess that's why I found Pop Fizz to be so funny as well. Alrighty, so this is the basic attack, this is the basic laser. So for you guys, if you got the top path, obviously you would stick to these walls and then do extra damage as well. And if you got close to the crystals themselves, they would heal you. So again, very, very handy and nice to have. Alright, so now let's take a look at the Shimmering Spin, which as you can see, it is definitely handy. And it's nice that I like to use the spin as both a mobility device, as I use many attacks for that form as well. But at the same time, it definitely does a good amount of damage, so it's worth upgrading. It's just when you compare it to the top path is definitely a much more valid choice in my personal opinion. So let's take a look at actually the luminous laser. I'm gonna wait for these guys over here. I'm gonna wait to charge up. Bam. So you see that does a lot of damage. Definitely a cool attack, and definitely one of those attacks that when you're facing against the bigger enemies, such as the Goliath, whatever they're called, Goliath, and I don't know, the Bark Demons or guys like that. Definitely handy to have that in your back pocket, so to speak. And I like the spinning attack again. You can see, first of all, for me, it lasts way longer than it would for a regular, for non fully upgraded shimmering spin upgrade. I hope that made freaking sense. Gosh. Alrighty. And so that's definitely cool. Now let's take a look at, of course, this, which is, I believe it's crystals all around or something like that. So as you can see, this would be very handy if you're surrounded by a bunch of enemies. It would definitely be nice to have the option to kind of attack everyone. For example, look, I'm standing here, and you see, like, you can hit multiple enemies depending on kind of, I guess, how you positioned yourself primarily. So definitely cool. You see that? Like right there, I harmed 4 enemies at once, so that's definitely cool to have. And definitely becomes a very useful tool. The only thing that you got to consider is that you will not be shooting a gem from the, like, where the head is. So always kind of aim using that. Finally, we've got the, well, not finally, second to last, we've got the lighthouse, and as you can see, it does a good amount of harm, and you could keep holding it for quite a while, and then as soon as you let go, of course, it disappears. But again, you don't want to be holding it for too long, because as you can see, you're kind of putting yourself in a position where you can get attacked. So you got to really kind of strike a good balance with that. So now we took a look at that. That primarily covers everything except for one final attack, which is of course the combination of the spin and the laser. So that definitely is handy too, because you could come in, attack guys, and then at the same time you're hitting them with the lights. So it's really a great combo to kind of, like, what I like to do when I play as Flashwing with this combo is that I like to get a lot of enemies around me, and then I'll slide right into the middle, and then I'll just kind of revolve myself, because again, you can deflect projectiles, which is handy, and then I just spin around in a circle and just blast everybody multiple times. So it's really great to kind of, you know, stack your attacks together, which I always like when the Skylander can not only use the attacks individually, like in terms of like, okay, well now I'm going to use this attack, but where you can kind of chain attacks together. And this really definitely does chain attacks together. So I definitely like that aspect of Flashwing. But overall, a very, very fun character, beautiful design. And on top of that, if you start thinking that she is sadistically crazy and loves to kill everybody, it becomes funnier. Think of her as the Deadpool of the Skylanders universe. Her and Popfizz could probably make for a really great team. But I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Overall, I'd give Flashwing a solid 9 out of 10. She definitely earned it. A very cool design, probably one of my favorite designs for sure, without a doubt. And definitely a beautiful, beautiful design, a beautiful figure on top of that. A lot of translucent plastic, which is really always welcomed because it looks fan-flippin-tastic, and a lot of beautiful paint. But I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and if you did, please hit that like button. Of course, share your opinion of Flashwing in the comments section below. Of course, make sure to subscribe to not miss out on future reviews, and in the comment section below, you could always also leave suggestions for which Skylanders you'd like to see reviewed next. Now, on top of that, guys, if you could please favorite this video, share it with your friends and family, that would be highly appreciated as well. You guys are fan-flippin-tastic. I'll catch you guys next time with another Skylanders-related goodie for all of you to enjoy. Of course, Skylanders Swap Force is coming our way very, very soon, and I'm very excited about that one. Alrighty, guys, peace out, and see ya laters.